Since you guys liked my last Fallout challenge so much, I'm back with another one, this time in Fallout 3. And surprisingly, it's not quite been done before. You see, I found a way to make every single gun fire mini nukes. That includes, of course, all the enemies' guns too. So today, we're going to answer the question that no one knew they needed the answer to. Can you beat Fallout 3 if everyone fires nukes? After my scary-looking father gave birth to me, I was ready to show the world who I'd become. And as a callback to my last Fallout video, I decided to bring Chad Oppenheimer back and give him a chance to dish out the nukes this time instead of only receiving them. I used the Force on my baby toys and picked my first stats. I figured I'd min-max a little bit. All of a sudden, it's my 10th birthday. Look at this handsome young man. My dad, Liam Neeson, surprised me with my very first gun. Little did he know, his son is cursed and can't seem to escape nuclear missiles. So much for that old saying of roaches surviving nuclear bombs, by the way. Before I knew it, I was 16. Gosh, they grow up so fast. And my dad sent me off to go take the Vault's GOAT exam. It's like a high school SAT end of year thing, but you have to glaze the overseer at the end of it. Vault Tech propaganda. You know the drill. Man, time in the Vault sure does go by fast. I'm 19 now, and Amada here told me my dad went out for milk and the overseer's gonna touch me or something. I don't know. All I know is I gotta get out of here for both my safety and the other Vault dwellers. As you can see, my first encounter with enemies that actually had guns proved this challenge wasn't going to be too easy. I'm going to need to quick save a lot. I successfully escaped Overseer Diddy's clutches and made my way into the wasteland. This charming view was quickly interrupted by 27 pop-up ads. The first stop in the story has you go straight to a town named Megaton. I think they like me. I made it in and got lost exploring this beautiful architecture. Eventually I found the man who's seen my pops. He told me it turns out I wasn't even born in the vault. Liam Neeson took me there right after I was born and after my mom died from my big head. Colin here, in usual Fallout style, made me do a job for him before he tells me where my dad went. Some junkie owes him money, so naturally, I took care of her. On the atomic level. And got him his caps back. He told me my dad went off to find the Galaxy News radio. Also, some polite gentleman here wanted me to help him throw a little harmless prank on Megaton. He just seems so nice, I thought I'd help him out for free. All he needs me to do is attach this little thingy-majig to the nuke in the center of town. He must have known how much I like nukes, so of course he asked me to do it. Not sure what all that text was about, but who reads nowadays anyway? I made my way to Tenpenny Tower to speak with the polite gentleman again, and look at that, they even have some sort of fireworks show prepared for me. These guys are great. Okay, look, normally I wouldn't do this, but I'm playing as a guy called Oppenheimer. I mean, how could I not? They even provided me with my own private suite and robot butler. What's not to like about these guys? The robot even gives haircuts. Continuing back with the main story, I have to make my way to Galaxy News Radio. The path there proved to be rather explosive, especially this spot. Like, very explosive. This challenge is gonna be interesting. Oh, how the tables have turned. On my way to Galaxy News Radio, I met up with the Brotherhood of Steel. I tell you what, they can do some damage with this mod. I would like to be on their side. I met the goat 3 dog. He needs me to fix his radio signal because some super mutants thought it would be funny to shoot his shiny satellite thing. Can't blame him, really. The DC and I did not get along well. I eventually learned my lesson and tried a different approach. After cleaning through the museum to get 3 Dog's new satellite, all that was left was to plug it up at the top of the Washington Monument. After plugging in the new dish, he told me my dad went to find someone in Rivet City, which is all the way down here. So off I went. Check this clean trick shot out, by the way. That was my first try, too. I was also so proud of this one, I missed the nuke barrage flying towards my face. This route proved to be quite dangerous. He just threw a grenade nuke at me. Well, 2 can play at that game, buddy. Okay, where did that one even come from? That's how it's done. And you know, I haven't played this game in a while, but on my journey of killing, I think I just accidentally stumbled into this rather important area. Well, I guess that's clear for later. I was just having fun blowing people up. It's nice to get to control the nukes this time. I made it to Rivet City. They let me in weirdly easily. For all they know, I could be some sort of walking nuclear bomb. Thank goodness they had a doctor here, by the way. I was dangerously close to dying from radiation sickness. Yeah, it turns out, with this lifestyle, I breathe in a hefty dose of radiation. I met up with the person I was supposed to find here. She worked with my father on his life's mission, Project Purity. Conveniently for me, I just cleared it out. I just had to listen to these tapes. Turns out dear old dad had to go to a whole different vault to learn how to get his water purifier working. Now I just simply have to go to the other side of the world to catch up. As you can see, the people in the wasteland really do need the water.
I hope you're not here for that water.
Met my first Yao Guai. It did not end well for it. It was weirdly easy to find this next vault. They told me to throw on a fresh Vault 112 jumpsuit and just hop on in. Yep, this looks chill. So I joined the rest of these people in the VR gooning chambers and awoke to find a pretty boring suburban town, actually. Turns out my dad is also stuck in here somewhere. I know what you're thinking. This is no fun. We need more explosions. I hear you. I thought the same thing, so I found the quickest way out of here. I figured the fastest way to make everyone wake up is to kick them out, of course. I think this Chinese soldier protocol will do just the trick. Oh. Let's try that again. Okay, it took a couple tries, but eventually I made it through this relatively unharmed. Somehow. Back outside of the simulation, I finally had the reunion with Pops.
Son, you've saved me.
He immediately wanted to get back to work after just walking on 2 legs again. Truly a man of science. So we headed straight back to Dr. Lee. After convincing his old partner, he told me we'll need to get the old site back up and running. I just had to do some chores. Yeah, it turns out free water for everyone is controversial, I guess, because what's left of the US government has come to put a stop to it. It's worse than I thought. They're not going to shut it down. They just want it for themselves, so they can tax it. My father did the only thing he could to stop them. Hoping the doctor's escape was just a matter of trial and error. There was a lot of error. Oh my god. Okay, that one is pretty funny. Eventually I realized that this fight was 100% completely optional. We're gonna pretend like I didn't just die here 30 times for nothing. Thanks to my bravery and Dr. Lee's connection with the Brotherhood of Steel, we found shelter and some new allies to help us get our payback on the Enclave. Especially this guy. I have a feeling me and him are gonna get along great. The Brotherhood were kind enough to hook me up with some power armor training, I suspect because they're scared of me. They told me that if we want to make more progress getting Project Purity back up, we'll need a G.E.C.K from one of the other vaults. Luckily, they conveniently had an old Vault Tech terminal lying around because they're tech hoarders. I learned we only have one other vault option with a G.E.C.K. It's at Vault 87, which only has one way in that's not filled with deadly radiation, and it's truly terrifying. I have to go talk to a bunch of kids. On my way there, I got attacked by some bounty hunters. They kindly provided me with a cool new coat. I eventually made it to Little Lamplight and was greeted oh so warmly by their mayor.
Don't take another step or we'll blow your freaking head off.
The only way he's letting me in is if I go rescue some kids that got, well, kidnapped. They apparently got taken to be slaves, and on my way in to be a hero, this guy at the front gate recognized my negative aura and recruited me to be a slaver. Not sure what that says about me so far. I wanted to prove I'm not all bad, so naturally, I thought it would be funny to test a stun gun on him to see how he liked it. I don't think this thing works as intended anymore. Eventually I realized, wait a minute, why don't I also use a minigun? I think doing this at a camp full of slavers might be the most heroic act I've ever done. This poor guy really brought a bat to a nuke fight. Then I believe I found the owner of this fine establishment. I gave him a parting gift and found what is quite possibly the greatest drip in the game. And with that, the kiddos were finally free. Now that that's done, the child mayor graciously let me in. I just have to make my way through a tunnel called Murder Pass. I wonder if there'll be any murder in there. Yeah, there will be a lot of murder. Eventually I made it to the vault, and turns out there was a bit of a gas leak in here that likely turned all of the residents into these Shrek wannabes. I found my own little smart Hulk. Freedom! True freedom! I wonder if he also gives out tacos. That'll make sense later. He's going to take me straight to the G.E.C.K and even help me get it out. As it turns out, he's very qualified to deal with radiation. Thanks to Fox, the G.E.C.K is finally in my hands.
Here's the G.E.C.K. I hope it's worth it.
For about 5 whole seconds. Yeah, it turns out the government really doesn't play when it comes to collecting their taxes. Also, Colonel Autumn has somehow magically survived.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
So they took me prisoner, and then it seems like the president himself wishes to speak with me. What kind of human could possibly be in control of this vile operation? I mean, they took my drip. These people made a big mistake when they took my clothes off.
You know how long I've been waiting for this? Whew, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Oh yeah, and for killing my dad. My god, the president is ChatGPT. Turns out he's actually kind of a nice guy.
I'm quite pleased you were able to make it.
Too bad it's a little too late to turn back now. Convincing him to unalive himself and the entire base was surprisingly simple.
You shall have your wish. Once you've left, I'll put an end to the Enclave.
Just like that, the president's defenses and I were even fighting alongside. The absolute goat fox was even trying to help me on the outside and found a new toy. I wanted to let him join me, but apparently my karma was too low, so that was depressing. But hey, just like that, we got some payback on the Enclave. That's for you, Pops. I went back to the Brotherhood to report the very interesting journey I've been on since they last saw me. Good to see they're keeping up with their training. So it looks like I actually made it to the final mission already, but there's a lot I need to do first before we wrap this up. This isn't just a can you beat for Fallout 3's main story. That'd be too easy. We're going to be doing all the DLCs too. Kicking off with the Operation Anchorage DLC, the player gets put into a simulation of the Alaskan-Chinese War. In Fallout, this is actually one of the events that basically led to the bombs dropping in the first place. Speaking of bombs, getting through this first section was a nuclear war in and of itself. I rescued any fellow soldiers I could. Got this sick Gauss rifle. You'll never guess what it shoots. At one point they attacked us with these little invisible ninjas. They did not hide well enough. We made it to our first objective, taking out these 3 tiny artillery cannons. They did not like me planting explosives on them. One down. I got the second and third cannons detonated. And then it was time for my next assignment. My commander and his boyfriend here told me that I have to go secure 2 different fuel depots and clear out any commies in the way. I even get to assemble a small strike team to come with me, which should make things even more explosive. They did not make it as far as I hoped. I kept getting sneak attacked by literal ghosts. Luckily, thanks to VATS, I realized why. The commies kept trying their dirty tricks on me, but I'm too smart for them now. This last guy was barely even trying. After regrouping back at HQ, we were on to the next part of the level, securing the fuel depot. Which is actually the whole reason we're fighting here in Alaska. I wiped this camp off the map. And headed into the objective. Man, these gas prices got people going crazy nowadays. If they can't play nice, then they don't get to keep their gas. How about that? There was just one thing left to do in this DLC. We had to cross through this little path here to destroy them once and for all. Me and my men did our best. There were so many losses I couldn't keep count. How many I killed? How many killed me? How many of my own men killed me? How many of my men didn't make it home? The trench run was hell. Sometimes you don't even know what you're shooting at. You just gotta keep firing and hope for the best. They sent in the boys with the fancy new T-51 power armor. Even they couldn't make it long out here. Nah, I'm just kidding. They're alright. I am not, though. After disabling this field full of pulse mines, all that was left was to report back to the general inside the refinery. Unfortunately, for some reason, nobody could play nice long enough for me to get to talk to him. I simply kept getting stun locked, and then exploded. Through sheer stubbornness, it eventually worked and he was able to talk to me. With that, my time in the military has come to an end.
Dismissed.
I was in there so long, I forgot where I even was back in the real world. Who I even was. Oh, cool. Loot. So that finally wraps up Operation Anchorage. Next up, we're going to the Pitt. To start off this DLC, you gotta find a fella named Werner. His friends did not want me to meet him. He told me I need to disguise myself as a slave in order to get into the Pit. So I went to the nearest camp to grab some new drip, and for the first time in this entire playthrough, I actually gained karma. Can you believe that? I sadly had to take the pimp suit off again. Hope you guys liked the view. The Pit proved to be quite the friendly place. Yeah, this opening goes down a little bit different when everyone shoots nukes. Once I realized Werner can't die here, it was time to have some fun. They gladly welcomed me into slavery with open arms, and I think took all my stuff. I'll find that later. The whole reason I'm here at this point is to gain some karma back from all my past deeds. I believe they need me to find some mystery cure to save everyone from the disease they're catching here. That's right, Fallout had COVID before it was cool. Main difference is, if you don't get the vaccine, you turn into this thing. First, I gotta do a little slave roleplay to get myself a weapon. They wanted me to collect these steel ingots scattered around these, freaks. I don't like it here. All I could keep thinking during this DLC was if I could just get one gun, it's over. Everybody getting blown up. The bad guys, of course. Okay, fine, and some slaves, but mostly just because they'll probably be in the way. Look at how dirty all of us are. We're dying in here.
Bruh.
Anyway, the leader of this fine place, Asher, gave a big speech to us about freedom. We just have to fight for it in a gladiator arena, of course. The first fight went so well, I thought I might just make it the last fight they'll ever watch. You see, they messed up and gave me a gun. Okay, sadly, Bethesda said no to my fun, and made most of these guys immortal for now. The other fights went by pretty quick. And then I was finally allowed an audience with the big guy, and I guess as a show of good faith, they gave me all my stuff back. He does have quite the crib. Turns out Asher has been cooking up quite the plan with the whole cure thing. You see, the cure is actually his 1-year-old daughter, who apparently is immune to radiation and the COVID zombie disease. So now I'm faced with the insane moral dilemma of letting Asher keep the slaves and potentially develop a cure that could help everyone, or try to take the baby, probably kill the raiders, free the slaves, and then they have to figure out what to do with an immune baby. I decided to stick with my guns and go with the original plan and be a hero. Now I simply have to fight my way back to the slaves for their freedom as well as mine. Because I got myself in quite the pickle. I learned the combat shotgun goes absolutely crazy, by the way. It's a gambling man's gun now. I threw the cure, I mean baby, in the loving arms of this kind man, who just informs me he's going to unleash all the Trog creatures on Uptown to kill all the raiders, and logically the slaves that are up there too. This is the good choice, right? I'm making the good karma choice? He did say he'll take good care of the baby. They're going to continue to develop the vaccine, and then when they're done, ransom the baby for money. I said my goodbye to the Death Stranding baby, and I headed out to go kill half the city. All we actually have to do is turn off the lights, and the Trogs will take care of the rest. With the power now off, all I have to do is watch my work unfold. Okay, I may have to intervene a little. So with that, the day is saved. Well, okay, at least the Pitt is no longer a slave city anyway. I'd say my job here is done, and I was officially free to return back to the Capital Wasteland. This place was something else. On to the next DLC. This one takes us to the mysterious Point Lookout, a spooky swamp place full of nasty creatures that, if I had to guess, are going to receive a happy helping of Mini Nukes once I arrive. This place has definitely seen better days. I decided to go meet some of the locals. They were not friendly. And turns out they were having some sort of housewarming party in here and didn't invite me. I wonder why that is. This extremely handsome individual recruited me to infiltrate the savages to figure out why they keep attacking him. To join, they just needed me to go eat some big nasty swamp fruit thing. Getting to the fruit was easy enough. Oh yeah, I did make it possible for the swamp queens to shoot nukes out of their mouths. 'Cause why not? I made it to the nasty tree and took the seeds. And then of course on my way out, I got a visit from all of my friends. Like my talking bobbleheads.
What a messy, messy mind you've got in here.
And my dead mom. And even my best buddy, the Megaton nuke. I guess I passed.
You are welcome to our tribe.
Turns out these people took a piece of my brain while I was tripping out. But what's worse than that is they shaved my perfect hair. These monsters are gonna pay. Oh yeah, some of the ghouls throw nukes here too. Just for fun. Turns out the tribal people are being controlled by some sort of robo-brain that has beef with Desmond. He wants him dead because he's jamming his signal broadcast and confining him to being stuck in this place. Neither of these people are very nice to me. I don't know if I want to side with either of them at this rate. I did decide to keep working with Desmond simply because I had the pleasure of meeting him first. I may be pretty evil in this playthrough, but you can't say that I'm not loyal. As usual, things got explosive. It was time to put that robo-brain down. Turns out he's been at the lighthouse this whole time. Desmond and I fought our way through his defenses. I will say, Desmond is quite durable. We eventually found the brain himself. He tried to convince me to kill Desmond, and Desmond wants me to kill him, but then I realized, wait a minute, what do I want? Ah, peace at last. There was just one more thing left to do.
Be at peace.
sure does feel good to save the day again. Man, what would these people have done if I never showed up to help? The next DLC pack starts off unlike any other. It's aliens. They did aliens. After they had their way with my body, I met a fellow captive who already has a plan to get out of here. First we fist each other, then we fist them. And then we start a prison break. Got my gear back with some added additions and did what I do best. Eventually we got to a room with some people they've captured throughout history. We mostly just need the spacesuit from this guy. Turns out he actually didn't survive the ice anyway, so that worked out. This looks familiar. The first step to get out of here is blowing up these 3 generators scattered around the ship. So naturally, I'm the man for the job. The crew also tried to interrogate an alien. It did not go well. After I wrapped up the last generator, I was greeted back in the main room by some friendly aliens. Sally here told me I was good to go for the next step, which was actually going out into the great beyond by myself. It's not so bad up here. Oh, and for fun, I wanted to see what would happen if I took off the spacesuit or walked off into space. I made my way through the ship and even found where they probed me earlier. Good times. Played with the big death laser. Got defeated by a shield. And finally pulled off a mutiny on this fine ship. Turns out some other aliens didn't like that very much, and we actually had a frickin' Star Trek space battle against the other ship. It ended in possibly the most glorious explosion of this whole playthrough. And with that DLC down, my space captain days have sadly already come to an end, because it was finally time to beat Fallout 3's main story. Those DLCs took me so long, I forgot what was even going on here. All I know is me and him are gonna get along great. It was time to end things with the Enclave once and for all. If my PC doesn't explode, I could tell right away that this was gonna be one hell of a battle. But I know what we're all thinking, there clearly isn't enough explosions. This is supposed to be the final battle. Enough of this Weenie Hut Jr. crap. So naturally, I made Liberty Prime shoot nukes out of his eyes. That's more like it. I was actually enjoying the view a little too much here. Like father, like son. We finally made it back to Project Purity. All that stands in my way is Colonel Autumn for the 5th time.
Can't say I'm surprised.
I kept things brief. I thought it would be fitting to end this with the gun that's actually supposed to fire mini nukes.
Well, that takes care of that.
Sadly, our joy was short-lived because it turns out one of us has to sacrifice ourselves to stop Project Purity from blowing up. So naturally, I followed in my father's footsteps and, well, I'll let Ron Perlman take it from here.
Stepping into the irradiated control chamber of Project Purity, the child followed the example of the father, sacrificing life itself for the greater good of mankind. The waters of life flowed at last, free and pure for any and all. The capital wasteland, at long last, was saved.
We've got people down here. You
The Enclave is retreating.
Yeah, the nuclear fun isn't quite over yet. There's actually one final DLC for this game that only comes after you beat the main story. We have to finish wiping out what still remains of the Enclave. Yeah, that happens a lot in Fallout. Kicking off Broken Steel, Patrick Stewart here informs us that the Enclave has another base, hidden in the wasteland. It's my job, of course, to go find them and peacefully blow them up. Ah yes, I got the mod working as intended still. So far, it doesn't seem like I have to do much of anything. Liberty Prime is doing my job pretty well.
All personnel should reach minimum safe distance.
Oh no.
Immediately.
Oh gosh. I gotta do work again. I made my way through the Enclave's forces, business as usual. And got the data from the satellite that I needed to report back to the Citadel. By the way, what the hell are these rad scorpions eating that allow them to take more than one hit from a nuke? That was a scary sight. The Brotherhood is a bit stressed what the Enclave might do next, so while they decrypt that data, they want me to go get a new weapon ready. They need me to go get some Tesla coil technology and bring it back as quick as I can. By the way, not even Deathclaws take 2 hits. Those albino scorpions are built different. I fought my way through this lovely pack of Deathclaws, only to be greeted by more Enclave. And then robots. But eventually, I made it to the Tesla coil. It was shocking. Back at the Brotherhood, they told me the data I grabbed helped successfully locate the Enclave's new base, which means it was time to get my revenge for my long-lost son, Liberty Prime. Their new lair is located outside of DC in an old Air Force base. Of course, in typical Fallout 3 fashion, that means I have to fight my way through the sewers or the metro first to get there. The Pennsylvania Avenue residents welcomed me with open arms. I greeted them back the only way I know how. And thanks to the spooky roller coaster ride, I eventually found my way to the Air Force Base. The Brotherhood gave me my orders to be a one-man army and keep pushing through to their base. Hey, at least they gave me a new Tesla gun. I wonder what it shoots. Okay, yeah, forget that. That's more like it. For the record, I made about 10,000 quick saves over the course of this challenge. My current objective is to blow up the Enclave's base with their own weapon. This should be easy. I eventually made it to their missile terminal. My revenge is almost at hand. As tempting as it was to hit Megaton for the second time, I did the right thing and set it to blow this place sky high. I was greeted by a familiar face, and we sat back to watch the fireworks. This is for Dad. And you too, son. And with that, the Capital Wasteland was finally saved. Thanks to my nuclear abilities, of course. and this adventure has come to an end. So yes, as it turns out, you can absolutely beat Fallout 3 if everyone fires nukes. Hope you guys enjoyed this insanity with me. I'll be back with more stupid challenges soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe and all that fun stuff every YouTuber says. Also, shout out to 36Vodka on Nexus for helping me make this mod. I've never made a mod myself before, so this was a learning process. I'll have the links in the description for both of our nuke mods if anyone is craving even more explosions. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.